Having huge arms is one of, if not the most important muscle group for aesthetics. There's been multiple studies showing that having big arms is the most attractive muscle group for women, and it's also what leads to the most amount of respect from other men. So I've found in my own personal experience, having grown up skinny my whole life, have been struggling to put on weight. As soon as I started to really grow out my arms and grow out my biceps and tricep muscles, I just found that the amount of respect you get from people just really starts to go up. It's probably one of the most noticeable muscle groups, especially if you're wearing a t-shirt and your arms start to stretch into the t-shirt. It just really becomes a lot more noticeable. People really start to treat you a little bit differently, you get a little bit more respect, and you just start to really boost your confidence a lot more. In addition to that, it's also something which I found that a lot of women notice as well, and it's one of the muscle groups that I've personally had the most compliments in since starting my gym journey. So in this video, I'm going to go over the exact processes that you can follow to build your arms up as quickly as possible so that you can achieve this physique that I've got now in half the time that it took me. So the first thing to understand if you're looking to grow your arms is really that triceps are actually 2/3 of your arms. So if you actually have a look at your arms in the mirror, if you have a look at your bicep muscle, it doesn't actually look that large, especially from certain angles. And really, what actually really brings out your arms is just your triceps, especially if your arms are down by your side in the natural position when you're walking or sitting or whatnot. You'll see that your triceps actually take up a huge, large portion of your arms. So it's really important to remember that although so many people make the mistake of trying to build their arms really quickly and just going in and only doing bicep exercises, you're actually leaving a lot of gains on the table and a lot of progress you're leaving behind. Because the reality is that your triceps actually take up 2/3 of the muscle groups in your arms compared to your biceps. So if you're not working your triceps just as hard as you're working your biceps, you're really going to struggle to build your arms up as quickly and efficiently as you can. So some of the exercises which you can do in the gym, which are really going to help you build your muscle groups quickly, especially for your arms, I've found that when I started implementing these exercises, my arms just really shot up super fast, super quickly, and I just really started to put on a ton of muscle. So some of these exercises were, if you're talking specifically about biceps, you should be doing bicep dumbbell curls. And I recommend going heavier with these. So generally I do these for 3 to 4 sets and I aim for around about 10 to 12 reps in each exercise I do this. And another really good bicep exercise is just doing a chin up. So this is where you've got the grip where your hands are kind of facing you like this and you pull yourself up. So I've found that it's another really good exercise you can do, especially if you can do weighted chin ups. That's also really going to help build your biceps up a lot. And if you're looking to build your triceps, 2 exercises which I found are really beneficial are the dips, where you're actually going all the way up and you're kind of locking your arms at the top of the movement, as opposed to chest dips where you'd be leaning forward more and you wouldn't be locking your arms. And I've also found that just a close grip bench press is a really good exercise. It's going to build both heads of the tricep, the small head and the long head, and it's really going to help propel your gym progress forward. So the next tip, which I think is really going to help you, is just try and reallocate your workouts towards your arms a lot more if you want to build your arms really quickly. So what this means is I would actually take, if you're doing a push day, for example, which is chest, triceps, and shoulders, I would probably start to take some exercises away from your chest, and I would take some exercises away from your shoulders, or just do a little bit less sets in each muscle group. And you can still actually work these muscle groups and grow these muscle groups. But if you want to be growing your arms really quickly and as efficiently as possible, you need to be kind of just reallocating your workout routine to tailor towards building your triceps and biceps. So for example, this might mean swapping out a couple chest exercises or a couple shoulder exercises on your push days so that you've got more energy in the tank so that you can do more tricep exercises. So you might swap out a bench press for a close grip bench press, for example, which is still going to have some benefit on your shoulders and chest, but same thing, it's just going to really build up your triceps a lot more. The other thing which you can do is, I'd also recommend doing this at the start of your exercise, your workout routine. So if you get there into the gym and you've got a pull day, you want to be putting in your bicep exercises. You should be putting them right at the start of your workout routine. So this is when your muscles are going to be less fatigued. It's going to lead to more stimulus on your muscle group if you do this at the start of the workout. And if you want to prioritize building a certain muscle group, always put this at the start of your workout so that when you've got the most energy and you've got the most fuel to burn, you're using it in that muscle group, which is going to push it forward quicker and as quick as possible. If you want to follow my exact workout routine, which has got me from about 75 kg to where I am now, which is about 90 kg and only 10% body fat, it's going to be the first link in the description to my school community, which is currently on pre-sale now. But I'll go over the exact workouts I did. I'll give you a PDF as part of the package, which has my workout routine in there as well. And I'll just go through the training and the gym modules with you. I'm going to put together a 2-hour long module, and it's going to be linked in the description, first link in the description, if you want to check that out. So going over one of the most common mistakes, which I've found people have when they actually start to do this and start to really train their arms a lot more and they want to build up their arms, is you can't just keep adding more and more exercises and workouts into your routine. That's not really how it works. Like I said before, you have to actually start reallocating your workouts, kind of like a puzzle piece. If you want to add more volume and more stress onto your biceps, you need to actually take out some of the other exercises or just taper down the sets on some of the exercises you were doing. So, for example, on a pull day, if you want to work your biceps more and you want to really focus on building up your biceps a lot more, just taper down on some of the exercises that work your back or that work your shoulder muscles, and just maybe taper down on the sets or just take out a few exercises here and there and just reallocate that volume to your biceps. So the reason why so many people struggle with their arms is because they think that they can just keep adding more and more and more without actually subtracting. So if you think about when you used to study at school, if you're still studying or you're at uni and you're studying, your brain capacity only has about 4 hours a day where it can actually put in some deep solid work. So if you're in one area which you're kind of lagging behind in, which is maybe one subject or one paper that you're taking, you'll know that in order to actually get ahead on this paper, you need to kind of allocate a lot more time and a lot more of your brain power towards this paper. However, if you do this and you don't kind of taper back on some of the other papers which you're ahead on, or some of the other subjects which you kind of have a handle on, what's going to happen is you're going to have too much volume there when you're studying, and it's just going to lead to burnout, and your brain's not going to be able to function as well, and it's just going to lead to deficiencies in the studying process. It's going to kind of damage your results. So this is the same thing with building muscle. You only have like a set amount of reps and sets you can do in the gym over a period of a week where you can actually put on a decent solid amount of muscle. So therefore, if you just keep adding on workouts, when you actually do these bicep workouts, your muscles are just going to be a lot more fatigued and it's going to create less stimulus on the muscle. They're going to be significantly less effective. So, like I said, taper down on some of the other muscle groups and just really focus in on your biceps and your triceps on your push and pull days. One other thing which I found people doing, which is actually really common and it's just quite natural because this is something which I used to do as well. It's just that instead of just training the standard 2 times a week for each muscle group, people start to just add in a few more bicep exercises at the end of their leg day, for example. So if you're really keen to build up your biceps fast, people think that they'll do their pull day, one, where they work their biceps, then they'll have another pull day, and then at the end of the week, when they're doing a leg day, for example, so they've trained their legs for about an hour, they just add in a few more reps and sets where they just do some more bicep curls at the end of the workout because they think that it's just going to help boost the muscle group and increase the muscle growth a lot faster. Whereas the reality of this is that you can only actually train your muscles twice a week. This has been backed by so many studies showing that if you want optimal muscle growth, you should just train your muscles 2 times a week and not do any more. And the reason for this is because your muscles need proper amount of time to actually recover and grow back stronger and thicker so that you can work them again in the gym and you're going to keep progressing and getting results. However, if you actually keep on working more than 2 times a week and you do some more sets and reps on your leg day, for example, and you start working the muscle 3 times a week, your muscle's not going to be fully recovered each and every time you keep going back and working that same muscle group, which therefore means that your muscles are going to be weaker, they're going to be less recovered. Your ability to actually increase the muscle group and actually hit new PRs is going to be decreased. And overall, it's just going to completely damage the hypertrophy process and the recovery of your muscle, which is absolutely essential to kind of boost your muscles. So make sure you don't make this same mistake where you're just adding on another couple sets or reps at the end of a random workout day like legs, start training your biceps at the end of that day. Because, like I said, 2 times a week is absolutely perfect. It's been proven to be optimal and you should just keep it that way. So one final point which you probably might be aware of, but it's just important to reiterate this, is that the amount of calories you're taking in, it should be in a slight surplus and you should be slightly above maintenance. So maintenance is kind of where the calories which you're taking in are the exact same as the amount of calories that you're burning. So for example, some people who want to build abs, they just kind of taper down the calories which they're taking in, so it's below the calories which they're burning, so that therefore it's going to create fat loss. However, I've found that if you want to build muscle as quickly and efficiently as possible, especially for your areas like your arms, you kind of need a little bit more calories so that your muscles have a little bit more fuel in the system, and it's going to really help with energy, it's going to help with hypertrophy, boosting your growth hormone, and everything like that. So I recommend, if you're in the gym, you want to build your muscle groups fast, like your biceps or your triceps, just have your calorie just a little bit of a surplus above maintenance so that you're eating more calories than you're burning. And this is just going to help you to just get some extra fuel, get some more protein in, get some more essential macronutrients, which is going to boost your hypertrophy.